And we're live. Alright, when last we left off, we lost a couple more of our members. Okay, there's the sound. I was worried for a second there.
Let's see if it comes through on...
It should.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we could hear it. Yeah, so last time, Snake went missing, Ace took a nap, and I got down with the sickness again.
Yep.
Alright, COVID. Also, hello. Hello, Shot.
Oh, I could use one right now.
Okay. Let's see. Last time we went into the door with Clover and Lotus.
The number 8 door.
Number 8 door. Whereas everyone else
my
went
favorite
through the number
number.
7 door. Which I think was 7, Santa, and
June.
Didn't we have a fourth person
Yeah,
go into one of
that would
those?
make sense.
No.
No. Right.
Ace is out for the count, and Snake is missing, so
Yeah,
there are literally only 6 people who could go into the doors
Yeah,
right
the
now.
math checks out. Also, hi, Dragon Cat.
You're floating, apparently, in midair.
Yeah, that's... Hold on, let me fix that.
So you're a ghost!
Ooh.
He is the ghost of Christmas past.
Yeah,
Then what am I, the ghost of Christmas present?
Okay.
You're not a ghost.
My model should have been locked.
With how I sound like a ghost.
You sound quite literally the same as you usually do.
Yeah.
Bro,
we wouldn't be
dude,
able to
I
tell
don't.
otherwise.
I sound like a gargled glass and
I
nail
am not
without
arguing with this.
Anyway. Alright. The room they found themselves in was divided into 2 separate areas by a curved wall. A thick glass window built into that wall made it possible to see into the other side of the division.
You know, I think the window looks into another room.
Excuse me.
You don't say, Junpei.
Maybe it's for monitoring something.
Junpei walked to the window and looked through.
What the hell?
He wasn't sure what else to say. Robot.
It's a robot.
In the center of a room shaped like a quarter circle, a mannequin lay on what looked like a medical exam table.
Looks so creepy.
Junpei jumped a little. He hadn't noticed Lotus coming up next to him.
It's kind of like that doll is waiting for surgery.
This is a laboratory, right? I'd say it's more like it's waiting to be experimented on.
Is it just
Ooh,
me, or
yeah.
am I the only one getting Live Alive vibes with the distant future, with distant future chapter in the med bay?
I didn't play that.
I wouldn't know. I've never played it.
Maybe.
Yep, just me then. Okay.
It's creepy either way. You don't think that thing's gonna suddenly sit up or something, do you?
I hope it does.
Well, I don't know. I mean, look at all those cables sticking out of it. If we press the wrong button, I don't know.
Stop it. Just thinking about it is terrifying.
She was gripping her arms, the knuckles on her hands white.
Wait, where's Clover?
She was still standing near the entrance of the room. Her face had the appearance of calm, but it was drawn and somehow sad.
What is she?
There was something almost pitiful about her. Junpei walked over to her, and as kindly as he could, spoke.
Are you okay?
Clover looked away.
What are you talking about?
What? I'm just worried about you. You've been real quiet.
What? I can't be quiet if I want to?
Well, I mean, of course you can. I just...
Okay then. If I can be quiet if I want, just leave me alone, okay?
Somehow I get the feeling
Girl's got a point.
Yeah, but somehow I get the feeling she's not going to be much help during this investigation.
Come on,
Yeah,
you know
no.
I can't do that. We gotta work together.
Clover bit her lip. and was
Junpei,
silent.
you just don't get it!
Sometimes the text just advances on its own like that. It's a bit annoying.
Eh.
I mean, I'm going to imagine the reason why it does that sometimes is because it'll cut off the dialogue that you're saying for like
True.
dramatic effect.
True, there is an M dash there, suggesting an interruption, but it does make it awkward when trying to narrate. Her cry took Junpei by surprise, and he stumbled backward a few steps, alarmed.
My brother's not the kind of person who'd just leave me behind. Something happened to him. Something bad.
Yeah.
So now we know that Clover and Snake are related.
Well, we
yeah,
know
we
that
already,
since
know
the
that
start.
for
yeah. Junpei had nothing to say. Lotus, jolted from her manic nightmares by Clover's voice, turned toward them.
What happened?
Clover's eyes slid to Lotus, then back to Junpei.
Look, just don't bother me, okay? Leave me alone.
Finished, she turned around. Before Junpei or Lotus could say anything, Clover had begun to walk quickly away.
Hey, wait, Clover! Hold on! That way is...
I told you to leave me alone.
He might as well have been talking to a wall for all the notice she took of his cries. Not even slowing down, she made for a doorway cut in the wall in front of her. Without even slowing down, she passed through the doorway.
Clover, watch out above you.
good fucking job.
And without warning, an iron gate fell from the ceiling like a portcullis, sealing Clover in.
What the heck? What's going on here?
Why do I feel like the word portcullis is not spelled correctly?
It was not.
That's what I thought.
What was my...
Hang on. I'll get it open.
Oh, crying out. You'll never do it on your own.
Junpei grabbed the bars and pulled. In a moment, Lotus joined him. The three of them pulled as hard as they could.
Damn it! It's not moving.
Wait! Are you gonna give up? Just like that?
No, I'm not giving up. This has got to be another one of Zero's puzzles.
If it is, then there's gotta be a way to open it.
Yeah, exactly. Junpei nodded.
Just what I was thinking. Now all we gotta do is find it. Lotus and I can look around out here. Clover, you're gonna have to see if you can find anything in there.
Oh, yes, I'm on it.
Welcome to the laboratory!
See, go way up.
Zero's just... You know, I was about to make a joke, but I realized I made that joke last time when we came in here at first.
Yes. Okay,
What?
before
Thi-
anything else...
This is my lab.
Yeah.
And this is my laboratory. But I was also gonna make
Anyway.
a Dexter's lab joke.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So, look through the window. I think it's this side?
window made of really thick glass. I don't even think a bullet could break it.
It's the other side.
Okay, it's the other side.
Okay. Silver handrail. Looks like a regular handrail.
Okay. I have no idea how I'm gonna do her voice. I guess I'm gonna just try to do my best Shinigami impression. Hey. Do something, please.
I think you're having trouble coming through with the high pitch.
Fuck me.
Yeah, the mic didn't pick up most of that.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, try it as a stage whisper almost.
Nope. Don't do that.
God damn it. Figure out how we're gonna get out of here.
Smoker Sayaka, okay. Was not expecting that.
Stage whisper wasn't quite what I was thinking, I guess. The sort of thing when you're like,
My voice is kind of raspy right now, so yeah.
If you need some assistance, I can provide backup
let's
voicing.
see, the kind of sound you do when you're trying to like portray yelling, but not actually at a loud volume is what I was thinking.
What?
That's actually yelling.
Quick! Figure out how I'm going to get out of here!
We'll workshop it a bit more.
Yeah.
It's just, I know Discord doesn't really like, anything high-pitched.
Well, the best way I can give Clover a voice is because her voice is high-pitched.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with Discord is that if you have the noise cancellation and you go too high pitched or too loud, the noise cancellation kicks in and thinks that instead of you speaking, it's like a freaking jackhammer going off in the background, and it cancels it out.
Very annoying.
Basically anything that peaks it.
Yeah, why do you think I was disabling noise and echo cancellation when I was voicing
Kaito.
oh god, I forget his name.
Kaito.
The shit guy.
Nekomaru.
Kaito!
Nekomaru, yeah.
I mean, he was also doing it as Kaito, but Nekomaru was the bigger
Yeah,
issue.
it was more of Nekomaru. What's in the boxes? They look quite full.
As far as I can tell, it's a bunch of notes about some kind of experiments. It's all really technical and stuff. I don't really get it.
Quick question. Is Lotus wearing some sort of, navel piercing? Because it's covering her, like...
I actually don't know what kind of jewelry she's wearing. The only thing that I'm pretty certain about is that it is a type of jewelry that is stuck to your body.
Well, it's clear that she's wearing some sort of necklace and and rings and, like, what's the word? Forearm bracelets. But that... My best guess is that it's actually, like, a navel piercing that dangles.
Either way, it looks fashionable.
Yeah, possibly,
Yes.
or it's just affixed
Hey.
in some way. Yeah?
Guys, is anyone else seeing a lot of, like, lag and pauses in the video footage?
That's just what
Nope.
that just happens.
Yeah.
I'm
No, they mean on Twitter. I mean on Twitch.
yeah, I'm
It's
seeing
on
that on
both
Twitch too.
Oh, I don't have it up on there. I am having some dropped frames, but unfortunately there's not a lot I can do
Don't
about
worry about it.
All
The
right, all
things we
right.
must do. Jesus. These lockers are a little larger than the ones on top.
Let's see if there's anything useful in here. And no, nothing.
Damn.
And yeah, unfortunately, dropped frames are just something I'm gonna have to live with when doing streams like this with Discord, because I am uploading to 2 different areas.
Yeah.
Fret over every single instance of dropped frames. We're never going to get anything done.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope.
The 9 on the right will have little red lights on them. Red lights, huh? Well, can't hurt to give these babies a try. Yep, just as I thought. Locked tight, all 9 of them.
I wonder if there's anything important in there. Have you tried clicking on the lock? Oh! What's in there? There's something in here.
Oh, ethanol.
Ethanol.
I wonder if
Time to
it's
get
for
crud.
Oh, antisepsis. I think they meant antiseptic. Oh, it says anhydrous ethanol. I've never heard
That's
of that.
me.
Oh, that's not
Oh.
something that we can use to get crunk.
Sorry, I missed that. Anhydrous?
Junpei, I'm the one who's speaking here, not you.
I'm sorry, for some reason, it always catches me by surprise when other characters talk while I'm examining a thing.
If it helped, your little nameplate is on the right while everyone else's is on the left.
That's true.
Yeah. It's more that, I'm expecting this to be a menu sort of like outside of the context of the setting he's in.
Yeah, I know
No.
what you mean, but
No.
Yeah. So,
You're
I guess I just have to always remember, they're always looking over his shoulder while he's looking at things.
yes.
yeah, think of it that way. Think of it that way.
Alright. Anhydrous? Is that different from the regular ethanol?
Come on, that's common knowledge. Anhydrous ethanol is a powerful cleaner. It can even erase marks left by a permanent marker.
It's not common knowledge. None of us here know it.
Me neither. Well, now we
Lotus
know.
is a smarmy asshole.
A mouse. A mouse. A mouse.
The keyboard.
We are the mice.
The mouse.
The keyboard. The keyboard. The keyboard. The keyboard! This is the computer. The power isn't on. Oh, there is a power button.
This is a waste of time.
What?
I don't see a power cable.
Oops. Yeah, you're right. No power cable. This thing isn't even connected to a main computer, though. It's got a monitor, keyboard, and mouse, but that's it. Just sticking the power cable in isn't going to do anything.
Have you tried putting in the Ethernet? Oh, I don't know about that.
This is the computer. It doesn't have any power right now, so it isn't working. Power cable, huh?
Not connected to a network or anything? The hands on this clock have stopped moving.
I will say when this game came out, that was before, like, Wi-Fi networks were super common.
Yeah,
Like-
this was December 2009.
Like, they
That's
existed.
true.
They existed. The DS had wireless capabilities, but like, most things were wired, and things being wireless were the exception.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Because in my job, right, when we're configuring shit, we do things over the Ethernet wires, so it's technically all a wired network.
Yeah.
But there are some things that are wireless. Anyway, the hands on the clock have stopped moving.
Clock may stop, but time goes on. No
Ain't
time
that
to
the
screw
truth?
around. We need to figure out a way out of here.
Christ on a bike.
I wonder what this cable is connected to.
Okay, one side of this thing is in the room with us. The other side extends into the laboratory where Clover is.
In other words, the console in front of us is connected to the device in the laboratory.
Start flipping all the switches. There's a lot of stuff here.
I don't know how we could use any of these.
Well, I can say for sure that I do know how to use at least one of these things.
Which one?
The one on top. I think it's a power cable.
Power cable, huh? I'll take that.
This is definitely a power cable. Do you remember if we ran into anything that didn't have power? I'm pretty sure you did. We just saw it 5 minutes ago.
Yep, but I'm still gonna keep checking this stuff out before I do the puzzle.
Please do.
Fair enough.
Stand for various pieces of equipment. Some of them might be useful. Maybe that zooms in there. And nope, can't check that.
There are 2 levers here. Do you think they activate something?
Well, why don't you move one?
Alright, I'll give it a try. Nope. Doesn't look like anything's happened.
The only thing about the room that's changed is that the lever is down now. Not very impressive. This is a keyhole.
This looks like a keyhole for the activation key.
I think this
Too bad we don't have the keyblade with us.
Yeah. I think this thing's supposed to power that machine in the other room.
Well, it doesn't appear to be doing that. I wonder how we're supposed to turn it on.
The power distribution board and the control panel are not working at the moment.
Nope. This is a really old type of keyboard. Yeah, that is definitely 2000 ass looking keyboard.
It was older than that for most of the time.
It looks like this door is the exit.
That keyboard doesn't even have arrow keys on it.
Yeah, I
You
noticed.
can tell just by looking at it?
Well, yeah, because they're always in a certain format.
Oh, that's true.
And, like, I think the keys were there were too many keys on a row.
Oh, I see. The door on the right just goes to the laboratory. Do you guys know if this is laboratory or laboratory?
I pronounce it laboratory.
Laboratory by default, laboratory when I'm trying to be a nerd.
Exactly.
Same.
Laboratory is if I'm trying to evoke the, like, Victor Frankenstein.
Or Sheldon J. Plankton.
Yeah, same deal. Nope, this door isn't going anywhere. No dice. No one opened. I mean, that's about as much as I expected.
I don't think Zero would let us out of the room quite that easily.
Meanwhile, Clover is just watching us try the exit without her.
What the fuck are you two doing?
Alright, let's think about ways we could open this door.
Like, what?
Everything suggests this door is the exit. The only problem is figuring out how it opens.
Have you tried looking at the button-looking thing?
This looks like the control for an electronic door lock. There's a red light on the display. That means it's locked. If we get that light to turn green, then maybe we can get Clover back. Hey, Clover! There's a door over here, too.
Wait! I'll be right there!
I can hear her over there. Is this door gonna... Damn it! Can't open it.
Oh, that was you.
Clover! What about your side?
It won't work! I can't even move the knob!
The door to the laboratory is locked up tight. It's not going to open. Clover can't open the door from her side either.
It looks like this is the control for some kind of electric lock. The red light is on.
Then it's gotta be locked.
There's a green light just below it. Although that one isn't lit.
I bet it'll turn on if we can unlock it, right?
Yes, but how are we going to unlock it? There's no keyhole, no card reader, and no keyboard for putting in a password.
Intimidate the door open.
I have no idea.
We don't have a barbarian.
But I'm not a barbarian. I play as a paladin.
Just bring in a Salamence, problem solved.
It's a silver handrail. Seems like a regular run-of-the-mill handrail.
Why do I
Okay,
feel like he's gonna make a pun out of handrail?
After this dialogue, examine the mannequin 7 times.
Okay.
I wonder what this is. This thing here looks like a voltmeter. And this is the control for that? I think I found Clover's voice. Gosh, there's so many dials.
Why don't you try turning one of them?
Nope, nothing. There's no power here, guys. I turned the dial a whole bunch, but even if I turn all the switches on, nothing happens.
Is there anything unusual on that machine?
Well, I don't know, you know? There are a bunch of cords hanging from the bottom of it. Jeez, this is a lot of cords. This is just like my work office, for real, for real. You would not believe all the cords fucking everywhere.
Oh, I can believe it. It looks like the technology closet at my work.
It looks like they all go over here into the mannequin's head.
So the device and the mannequin are connected. What the hell were they doing in there? Oh man, back when this laboratory was active, that wasn't a mannequin in there, I bet. It was a real...
Clearly, they were trying to replicate Mary Shelley.
I wonder what... No, I don't want to think about that. According to Clover, it's some kind of device that can regulate voltage. There's no power going to it, though.
Is this, like, an examination table? There's a creepy mannequin in here, guys. There's something sticking out of the mannequin's head, like wires or something.
hell were they doing in there? Huh? Why is she all quiet now?
They were doing experiments on humans.
Oh my god, I just realized something that should make it easier to tell me who's voicing it. The sound when the text appears is different, depending on whether it's someone else, whether it's Junpei, or whether it's my internal
Yeah, it's
monologue.
literally the Ace Attorney
Yeah.
bleeps. Probably.
Oh man, now she looks sad. Yeah, like, looking at my thing, it does look worse than usual, but I don't know what would be the cause, so there's not much I can do about it.
Yeah, it's just
Mannequin lying-
Comcast being Comcast.
Yeah. There's a mannequin
That
lying on the
sounds alright.
exam table. I can't really see it very well from here, but it looks like there are a bunch of electrodes sticking out of its head. There's a mannequin lying on the exam table. It's got a bunch of electrodes sticking out of its head. That mannequin looks so sad. I gotta admit, I'm starting to feel kind of sorry for it. Am I getting attached to this thing? Maybe I should give it a name. How about the Science Boy? Science Boy is lying on the table.
A heckin' science boyo.
His poor head is full of electrodes.
This is reminding me of one particular line of dialogue that you keep examining in AI Somnium files.
Science Boy is lying on the table. His poor oh, okay, that's the last.
Yeah. Okay. We'll have more to check with Science Boy later.
I think this thing is a monitor for whatever experiment they were running here. There's a bunch of stuff on here, like resistance value and voltage. Power's off, so there's nothing on it right now. I swear to God, as soon as she said, like, resistance, my brain is like, physics!
This is the monitor. There are a whole lot of cables under this table.
I wonder what they washed here. There are weird color stains all over. There are weird colored stains all over the sink.
It's a wash basin, more commonly known as a sink.
It's a rack. There are a bunch of cables on it. Somebody cut the outer stuff off the cables. I can see the wires inside.
It's a rack. There are some cables on top, with copper wire exposed.
I don't know what kind of table this is, but part of it's all black. There's a pen lying over here. I think someone only used it to make the table black.
That's weird.
Hmm.
Well, if they only used the pen on one part of it, there's probably something underneath all that pen. Clover, do you think you can erase it?
Yeah, sure. Oh, this is a permanent marker. Junpei, do you know how to erase ink from a permanent marker?
Yes!
No, but Clover does, and she told us.
Lotus
You mean
does.
Lotus?
Erase ink
Yes.
from a permanent marker, huh? Give me just a minute, Clover. I'll be right back.
Yeah, we have to go. I figured we have to hand her something from the bar through the bars. Those are the stairs I just came down. The bars and the gate are just above me.
Short flight of stairs. Okay. That's the wrong thing.
Wrong button.
Clover, use this ethanol. You should be able to wipe off that permanent ink with it.
What am I gonna wipe with?
Oh, well, your clothes, of course. Kidding, just kidding. Please don't look at me like that, you're scaring me. I mean, that was kind of what I was thinking. I was thinking just, like, use your jacket. Anyway, could you wipe off that permanent ink? Look, Clover, right now, at this moment, you're the only person we can depend on. I'm trusting you with this.
You trust me. Feel kind of special.
I think what we gotta do is go, yeah, back over there.
Clover, can you use the cloth on the table?
use... Huh?
Soak it in ethanol and then use it to wash off all the stuff from the permanent marker, okay?
Right. Okay, so I just gotta soak this cloth with ethanol.
Now she's got the cloth, but she seems to be having a little trouble with the bottle of ethanol. When she's ready, I should ask her to get to work on that stuff on the table.
Soak the cloth in ethanol and... Junpei! It's working! It's wiping the permanent ink off! Huh? There's some kind of weird drawing under all the permanent ink.
What's the deal with that drawing Clover found? Maybe I should ask her to take another look at the table.
I wonder what this is. There are a bunch of numbers and some kind of grid.
I can't see it from here. Clover, you've got a pen and a notebook, right? Could you write those numbers down and then hand them to me through the bars?
Okay. Roger. Ugh, I should get some Robitussin. Here, Junpei. I wrote down all the numbers from the desk here.
Paper with numbers on it acquired. New material
Go.
can add to the file screen.
That's the save button.
Note Clover copied from the stand in the laboratory. It has 4 numbers written in 9 separate cells. Oh, I think I know what we're doing here.
Me
Okay.
too.
Let's see. So 3, 4. Are we perhaps trying to get them to line up to 8 in each row?
Or maybe we just have to touch them in a certain order.
Well, my mind went to Sudoku. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I see you are a man of culture as well.
I'll worry about that later. For now, we got a computer plug-in. So one of the end of this cable needs to be connected to the monitor. The other end needs to be plugged in under the desk. Alright, let's just slip you in. Huh? Oh shoot, I can't use this.
What's wrong?
The cable has 3 prongs, but the socket only has 2 holes. It's not gonna fit, is what I'm saying.
In other words, we're gonna need a plug to change the power cable to one with 2 prongs. Fucking
That's
hate when that
dangerous.
Yeah, that is dangerous. Whole bunch of lockers. 9 of them are locked.
Maybe you have to do the ones on the,
I can't. Let's see.
I hope those numbers are gonna be helpful.
Got the scribblings from the table already. Alright.
Is there something we haven't examined?
Hey, a 2-pronged plug. I wonder if there's one around here somewhere. Poke all the things!
Wait, have you tried looking at the boxes next to the lockers?
I did. It's not responding.
A mouse.
The keyboard.
The mouse.
A skunk.
Well, I'm stumped. I have no idea.
Oh. Clover, do you see the power cables over there?
Huh? What do you mean?
Does the plug have 3 prongs or 2?
I don't know what you're talking about. Let me go look.
Yeah, she does have to kind of crouch to get a look under there.
The cable on the monitor has... it's got 2 of those little metal things. What does that mean?
That's it! Alright, can you unplug that cable and bring it over here?
Okay, but...
But?
Well, I can unplug it, but it's connected to the main computer. I can't take it over to you.
Damn it, that's no good then.
Well, how about just the plug?
What?
The plug? Well, maybe more like a connector? It's a sort of thing that makes the plug with the 3 metal thingies into a plug with 2 metal thingies. Still useless?
Not useless. Not useless at all. That's just what we were looking for.
Okay. Can you hold on for a little bit?
And back down she goes.
Alright. I'm plugged. I'll hand it to you over at the bars, okay?
Man, I'm hitting the bars more than I did at the casino.
Here you go. The 2-prong plug.
Thanks. It's 2-prong plug.
Ah, this
used
thing.
to convert the power
That's
cable
my
from-
that's
Oh,
my voice.
I'm sorry.
This is the 2-prong. Like I said, my ship boy appears to the left. Yours is on the right. This is the 2-plug cable that we can use to convert the power cable from a 3-prong cable into a 2-prong one. Combine!
Right. I have forgotten how to do...
Go to the item menu. Items. Go to the item. The Y button.
Y button. That's what I needed to know.
Y!
Okay. Put the 2-prong plug onto the head of this power cable.
There you go.
Look, I forgot the controls, okay?
It sounds so on the right side of the screen!
I'm blind, okay?
No, you're not.
I kind of am, actually.
Oh, right, because you have that weird thing with your eyeballs.
Yeah, well, it's that, but it's also something else.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, I've got a 2-prong cable. I'm sure this will work. I'll let this guy go. And let's just plug this thing into the monitor. Alright, that ought to do it.
Alright, let's turn the power on.
For a second there, I thought it turned on and Lotus was on the monitor. I'm like, what are you doing there? I don't think anything's gonna happen.
Why not?
Well, it's not connected to the main computer.
You never know until you try.
Pretty optimistic. Junpei pushed the button on the front of the monitor.
Oh, that worked.
With a soft hum, it turned on. Streams of letters that made no sense to Junpei began to scroll across the screen. Okay, make directory, make underscore BC. No idea what that means. 27.3 seconds. Start.
Updating restoration full. Yeah, make director. I forget what BC stands for, though. It's been a while since I opened up Ruby and Microsoft PowerShell.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's not a PowerShell command.
Well, I know that the dir is kind of easy to see, but...
Yeah.
What?
He had hoped it would turn on, but he hadn't expected this.
Huh? It's running on its own?
It certainly looks like it.
Isn't that kinda weird?
What?
Well, it's not connected to the main computer, right? There's just this keyboard and monitor. The only cable connected to this thing is the power cable we just plugged in. So, why is it working?
Maybe it's a wireless display.
Clearly, this was a reasonable explanation to Lotus.
A wireless display?
Yes, it connects to your computer wirelessly, hence the name. Have you been living in a cave, Junpei?
Have you been living under a rock? He most certainly had not, but
Is that normal?
Yes, at least where I worked.
Oh.
Oh, it stopped.
Pass with a colon.
Looks like we need to enter a password.
Again, there must be a hint around here somewhere.
Could you go take a look?
Yeah, I'm on it. What are you going to do?
I'll see if I can do something about this on my own.
On your own?
Yep, on my own.
Lotus?
Lotus pulled over the nearest chair and dropped herself down onto it in front of the keyboard. For a second, she stared at the screen. She kneaded her hands, knuckles popping, and twisted her back left, then right.
All right. Let's kick some ass.
Lotus smiled to herself and rubbed her hands together in anticipation. And before Junpei had time to blink, she was typing at an incredible speed, the click-clack of the keys running together like machine gun fire.
Tappa, 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 tappa.
Is she trying to brute force the password? It's like A B C.
Wait, what?
Junpei was, for once, at a loss for words.
Didn't expect that, did you?
Of course I didn't. You're typing so fast. I can't even see your fingers. What kind of job do you
Ackermans.
have? What are you?
I'm unemployed at the moment. I used to work for a cybersecurity firm, but I quit.
Why?
Lotus blinked.
Huh? Oh, it was just something.
She stopped typing for a moment, and her face
I
fell.
see.
This was not an avenue of questioning to be pursued, Junpei realized, and quickly shut his mouth. Lotus's fingers began to move again, and in a few seconds she was back up to speed. As she typed, more letters and symbols that meant nothing to Junpei began to pour across the screen.
Oh, what are you doing now?
I'm going to try and brute force it.
Brute what?
A brute force attack is... Well, the short version is that I just attack the thing head on. The long version?
Without looking up or slowing down, she began to explain.
A brute force attack is one of the simplest ways to break a cipher. It checks every possible combination until it finds the right one. For a complex cipher, it can take a very long time. I'm writing a program that would run an attack like that on its own. It's not the most elegant solution, certainly.
I mean, she shouldn't be able to... I won't get into it.
But given the circumstances, there isn't much else I can do.
Even as she talked, her fingers never slowed or missed a key. Junpei couldn't help but feel a little odd.
Oh, but back to what we were talking about earlier.
What were we
She
talking
has any sort of
about?
root access. Why in the world does she need to write a script?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, what is she making the program in? And if she has access to it, like any program she would use to make this program, she would probably need the password to get access to that on the computer.
The wireless display? It's kind of strange if you think about it, isn't it? How do I put it? Well, let's say you write a program that calculates an addition problem for you, all right? So you enter 1 + 1. The screen will show you 2. See? Isn't that strange?
How is that
No.
strange?
No? Not really.
Oh, come on now. Of course a caveman like you would think it was strange. You said so just a minute ago. You're just not getting it, are you? Who calculated 1 + 1?
The main computer, right? You said it connected to the monitor wirelessly.
Yeah, but someone who grew up in a cave wouldn't know that, right? They'd probably think that this thing here, the monitor, is doing the calculating. And once they've decided that, they'll start examining this monitor. They might poke the screen or something. Ah, I see the color changes when I press it here. Then they might investigate the hardware on the inside. Oh, I see. So this wire supplies the power. Eventually, they might even cut the wires. Ah, yes. Just as I expected. When this wire is cut, no results appear. Therefore, it must be this device which does the calculations.
Oh.
But the truth is that, just like you said, the computer is doing the calculating. But these cave people wouldn't know that, because they have no idea that the monitor and the computer are connected wirelessly.
Lotus continued to type. Junpei scratched his head.
So, what are you trying to say?
Nothing, really. It's just, I thought maybe, what if the relationship between human beings and our brains is like that?
Huh?
Well, let's say you stick a bunch of electrodes into parts of the brain. A scientist examining the signals they send out might say, interesting. So stimulating this part of the brain causes the person to see colors. That must mean this neuron cluster controls that function. Okay, let's see what happens when I cut out this part. Ah, just what I thought. Cutting off this part causes that function to cease. Therefore, human thought processes must occur in the human brain. See? Doesn't it sound the same? Maybe the brain is just an
Little
output
bit.
device, like this monitor. Maybe our thought processes actually occur somewhere else, in a main body. We just don't know it. We never even think about it. Just like those
I
cave
can
people wouldn't
sort of
know
pick
about
up what she's
wireless
putting down.
communications.
I can pick up what she's putting down, but I'm like, how is this relevant to anything?
We
You
can't
gotta fill the
imagine that
time
there's
while
some
you're typing
unknown
out
medium
programs.
that transfers information into our brains, where we experience that information as thoughts.
Junpei didn't say anything. Not so much because he had no retort. No, her argument just seemed silly, and he was a little surprised to be hearing something like it from someone like her.
The brain is just an output device. Human thought actually occurs somewhere else. That's just crazy talk.
Did Lotus really think that, he wondered? It was a little creepy, Junpei thought. Sounded altogether too much like a bizarre, cultish religion.
Maybe that's the cause of Seven's amnesia.
Oblivious to Junpei's increasing discomfort, Lotus continued.
If memory is actually stored somewhere else, in some sort of main body somewhere, maybe he hasn't forgotten anything at all. He's just having a difficult time accessing his memories because the monitor, his brain, has been damaged.
Huh.
I suppose that would explain aphasia and blindsight, too. Perhaps they actually can speak or see. The monitor just isn't functioning properly. I guess people with prosopagnosia could be suffering from the same thing.
Prosopagnosia.
I
Pro-
have
She's
no
about
idea.
to explain it.
What?
He knew what aphasia was from watching medical dramas on TV, and blindsight was easy enough to guess, but he'd never heard the word prosopagnosia before.
I don't know what
You never heard of
aphasia is.
prosopagnosia?
I think
you know
it's
what
when you
aphasia is?
see sounds as colors.
No, that's synesthesia.
I know I've heard the term aphasia before, but I can't remember what it's
Hang
for.
on.
I'm gonna press onward a little bit while you look that up. Lotus spun
It's
around.
a language disorder that affects a person's ability to communicate.
Ah. Lotus
It's
spun
just
around
like
in
me
her
for
chair
real,
to
for real.
look at him. Junpei just shrugged and shook his head.
No. What is it?
Well, put simply, it means a condition where the mind can't distinguish between human faces. In other words, my face would look the same as Clover's or even yours, so they can't remember
Oh.
faces, which is how most people recognize each other.
Honestly, mood.
Honestly, mood.
That means that people with prosopagnosia have trouble recognizing even people they're close to. Usually they can make do by associating people with other things. Their voices, their clothes, their hair.
Does that
Well,
mean other
I
people's
can.
faces look like
I mostly distinguish
blanks?
other people by faces, so if I had that shit,
No, I don't think so. Well, you've seen monkeys, like in a zoo, right? To you and me, all the monkey faces look the same, even though they've obviously got faces. It's almost impossible for a human to distinguish between them. The zoo staff that works with them would learn to identify different monkeys eventually. But you or I couldn't, unless one had a scar or something else to set it apart. Well, that's how people would be to someone with prosopagnosia.
prosopagnosia? Huh. I didn't even know that kind of thing existed.
if I remember correctly, I think someone in Ace Attorney has prosopagnosia.
I wouldn't be surprised. Junpei did his best to act as though the entire lecture hadn't gone entirely over his head.
And, what were we talking about?
The idea that your brain is just an output device, like a monitor.
Are you serious about that stuff?
Not really. I was just kidding for about half of it.
What about the other half?
Well, I guess I was just adulting.
Not funny.
Oh, I get it. Lotus's smile had something rather masochistic to it.
It's nothing more than a story I made up out of boredom. Don't take it seriously. It was the first thing that came to mind, and I just talked about it to kill time. But looks like I don't need to talk anymore.
Why?
I don't have to kill time any longer.
As she spoke, Lotus raised her right arm high and brought it down on the enter key. As all programmers do when they're done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, then you finished that brute whatever thing?
I
Brute
certainly
force.
did. And let's see what we got.
Chunks of text flickered on and off in quick succession, and then a line of numbers appeared, blinked, and disappeared. The screen cleared, and all that was left was the word accepted.
Piece of cake.
Lotus would clearly have patted herself on the back if it would not have made her look entirely ridiculous. After a few seconds, the accepted disappeared to be replaced with 9 squares, arranged in a 3x3 square.
The screen changed again. What the hell is that?
No idea. Looks like a puzzle.
Suddenly, Lotus stood up.
Huh? Aren't you gonna, I don't know, do more computer stuff?
No, I can't do any more. It won't let me do any more programming. See? The keyboard. Nothing. So, there's nothing more I can do. Well, I guess I'll leave this to you then, Junpei.
What?
Let me take a break, all right? I did my part.
Well...
He wasn't sure what to say to that. She certainly had done her part. In fact, without Lotus, they probably would have run completely aground. I shouldn't rely on other people so much, Junpei thought to himself.
I guess you're right.
No problem. And make sure you know when you should thank people.
Now, I better take care of this myself. No more relying on anyone else.
Junpei crossed his arms and stared at the puzzles shown on the screen.
So yeah, Lotus is a 40-year-old hacker lady.
I mean, that was easy. We were already told the solution.
Yeah.
All right. Although, actually, fun thing about those kinds of puzzles. The order that I push them in doesn't matter.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, because each one is just a toggle on or off. So...
Yeah.
So for those kinds of puzzles, really all that matters is you push those buttons and not the other buttons.
Yeah. You could have also brute forced it, but that would have
too.
taken too much time.
Not really. I do those puzzles a lot. I had a game with like 1,000 of them when I was a kid. All right, I solved it.
Did you hear a noise just now?
Yeah, I did. Sounded like something unlocking.
Where did it come from? I don't think the door unlocked, did it?
No.
Oh, that's what... Look, Junpei! The lights in the lockers are green.
Then we must have unlocked the computer puzzle. There's more
Hello.
than one key in here.
This one is small and looks like it goes to some sort of machine. And this one has the Earth symbol on it.
I think the Earth symbol matches a keyhole in a door on the A deck.
Well, if that's the case, we probably don't need the Earth key right now.
Alright then, Earth key. I'll just tuck you away deep in my pocket. Now as for the other key... What key is this?
From the shape of it, I'd say it's not for a door. Probably some sort of device. Oh!
What is it?
I wonder, do you think maybe this is the activation key for that thing?
The activation key.
Yes, it has to be. I feel good about this. I'll be right back. I'm gonna take something from my throat. It is so sore.
Alright. It was just at that moment that he heard a voice behind him. It was Clover.
Hey, Junpei, do you have a minute?
He put the puzzle
Good
aside for
timing.
the moment. What was that?
That's a good timing.
Yeah. He put the puzzle aside for the moment and walked over to Clover.
What's up?
I wanted to ask you something.
Hmm?
Junpei, you went into door 5 with my brother, right?
Yeah, he kept threatening to kick my ass.
Did you hear him say, like, anything weird?
Yeah, he
Other
tried
than-
to hit me in the head with a boulder.
Yeah.
Huh?
Why is she asking me this? Junpei wondered. The more he thought about it, however, the more it made sense. Snake had been gone for a long time. Clover was quite attached to her brother. Of course she would have been worried about him.
Well, let me think.
He thought back to when he'd gone through door 5, hoping he might remember something, even a small something that would help her. However...
Sorry, Clover.
What's going
Can't really
on?
think of
I'm
anything.
back.
Clover is asking us if her brother said anything weird when we went to door 5 with him. And Junpei just said he can't think of anything weird his brother said, despite the fact that Snake threatened to kick our ass twice, and when he saw a jug full of water was like, perfect for smashing it over Seven's head.
Don't worry about it.
Perfectly normal things for someone to say.
I mean, he
Don't worry
did
about it.
mention that his hearing exceeds that of a regular person, or something like that, but that's about it.
Okay.
He didn't, like, threaten you, or, like, want to smash your head in or anything.
Oh.
Clover's words were barely audible. She nodded vaguely to Junpei and turned to walk away.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hmm?
Look, I don't know if I should ask you things, but if you don't mind, I was hoping you could tell me if, is Snake, was he born?
You're talking about his eyes?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't born blind. When he was a kid, he got in an accident. A really bad car accident. He couldn't see after that. And his arm.
His arm?
Yeah. My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal person's arm.
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing a bit because there was a bit I did in Pokemon where I basically had to where I convinced a fellow kid that I was a total Chuny, including among other things saying that the dark energy resided within my left arm. And so I'm just seeing this and thinking like, it's not like a normal person's arm. It now houses it now houses
You were
a
channeling
demon.
your inner Gundam, clearly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Down,
fake.
sword hands.
It's not a real arm. The accident hurt him really bad. To save him, they had to cut off his arm.
They grafted a demon's
My
arm
hand
onto,
hungers.
They grafted a demon's arm onto it instead.
Oh.
Actually, wait, that's just the plot of God Hand.
Yeah.
Is that all you wanted to ask me?
Talking about her brother had clearly taken a great deal out of Clover. Junpei nodded.
Look, I'm sorry for making you talk about all that painful stuff.
It's not that.
Clover only shook her head and walked off down the stairs. Got a demon, what am I? It's time for me to choose my path. The power of my God Hand. This key.
What are you singing?
The credit song to God Hand.
I thought you were singing something about Mr. Gold and Mr. Silver.
No. This key, the shape sort of makes it look... Sure makes it seem like it goes to this machine. Alright, I'm turning it on. Okay, the monitor is on now. And it's full of letters.
It's showing some kind of warning. Power stored to experimental device. Emergency system will activate in the event of abnormal subject behavior. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Junpei is saying we don't need the computer anymore. I'm thinking, I wish we could take the plug back and give it back to Clover. Because she took it from this thing in that room. Science boy's lying on the table.
Poor science boy. Junpei! This thing here is on now!
Yeah, that's because we activated the power over on this side.
Just to like heads up, after this scene, you're gonna want to examine Science Boy a couple more times.
Okay.
And then examine the door that leads out before doing anything else after it, like
All right.
5 times.
Could you, like, play with it a little?
Okay.
Oh my!
Just smack the box around a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Just like a cat.
I'll just turn this dial here. Turn, turn, turn.
Squish, squish, squish.
I don't think it's working. Nothing happened.
Well, maybe she missed something. I should ask her to look around the room again.
Okay, it's not after this. It's scene. It's you have to do something else. There we go. I think.
Maybe if you increase the voltage? Roger. Will do. Okay, I'm gonna go all the way to max voltage.
Maximum power. Max voltage? Hey, wait, Clover! Oh, shit.
What? I think,
Okay, there we go.
Science boy,
Oh,
no!
No!
God. The mannequin's head!
Oh man, that sounds like a fire alarm. What the hell? Fire detected. Fire detected. The emergency system will be activated. Evacuate the room immediately.
Okay, yeah, now examine Science Boy twice more.
Science Boy's head is on fire. Science Boy, no! Oh,
No.
the humanity!
What the hell is Science Boy? Are you talking about the mannequin?
Yes.
The mannequin! You need to help Clover now!
Science Boy's head is on fire. I feel bad for him, but he's already done for.
Okay,
I need to save
now
Clover.
back out, and before you try and save Clover, try and leave the entire room. That one, yes, 5 times.
Junpei, look! The light! It's green!
The emergency system has activated and disabled the lock.
But wait, Junpei! You're not gonna leave Clover behind, are you?
I can't leave Clover behind. Can't leave Clover behind. I could leave her. Just book it with Lotus. At least we could save ourselves. No, what the hell are you thinking, Junpei? What is wrong with you? And again, she is. No. I can't do that. I might survive, but I couldn't live with it myself.
And now click the right door to open it so she can get out, and then click it 3 more times before leaving.
Junpei! Look at the...
Yeah, it's green. The emergency system has activated and disabled the lock. Now we can save Clover.
Junpei!
Come on, kid, jump! She's safe. Oh man, that smoke is some serious business. Time to close this door again, I think. Clover, are you okay? Are you hurt?
Huh.
Damn, she's coughing so hard she can't even talk.
I'm all not alright. Have you heard my voice, dude? I'm fucking sick! What the hell took you so long, you big jerk? I was almost dead!
Sorry, I had to cry over Science Boy.
Fuck Science Boy!
Sorry, I was going as fast as I could.
You two can do this later. Right now, we need to get the hell out of here. That fire's not going to stay in that room
Hang on,
forever.
Lotus, we have a door to examine 3 more times.
Yeah. Also, like, recurring trend of, like, Junpei doing a thing that is likely going to have serious ramifications for this boat, and then just walking away.
What are you doing, Junpei? Not that way. Aren't you an idiot? That's the laboratory!
I have to save Science Boy.
You know, the room full of fire?
The room full of Science Boy.
You won't burn to death?
I'm
Oh,
gonna
wait, keep
burn the
examining
Science
it
Boy.
more.
Hey, knock that off!
Yeah, I know. I just feel kind of bad for I was right!
2 more times after this.
I just feel kind of bad for leaving Science Boy in there to die.
What? The mannequin?
Clover's eyes are kind of freaking me out right now. Maybe I should just give up on the mannequin. So long, mannequin. You may not have been a real man, but I always thought of you as kin.
And so ends the arc of Science Boy.
Science Boy, no!
No, but
Truly,
you
he was
found
the best
it!
character and will be missed.
Junpei, Clover, and Lotus leapt out of the laboratory, slamming the door shut behind them.
Whew, thank God we got out of there.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
All three collapsed against the wall, breathing heavily. Junpei's heart was pounding in his chest, and his whole body felt weak. He inhaled gulps of clear air, and with each one, he could feel his body begin to calm down.
His knees were weak, his arms were sweaty.
Oh my god.
Knees weak, Fuck! Mom spaghetti! It's ready!
Alright.
His vomit on
Let's
his
go.
His
His
palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy.
Vomit on the mom spaghetti. It's ready.
Okay.
They nodded to each other and started off down the hallway. Before long, they found a few new doors, but all of them were locked.
Damn, none of these open. They're all locked.
How about that one?
The final door sat in a corner of the hallway.
Let's hope this is the door with the prize.
Junpei grabbed the door handle and was about to pull it open when a voice cried out behind him. It was neither Clover nor Lotus, but he recognized it. There was no doubt the voice belonged to...
Jumpy!
Huh?
Oh, I thought it was going to be Snake.
Me too.
He spun around. There, at the other end of the hall, Junpei saw human figures running toward him. 3 of them.
June? Santa! 7!
They stopped short in front of Junpei and his companions, gasping for air.
Hey, what are you guys doing here?
What? But we didn't...
Before he could finish, Clover spoke.
Hey guys, could you come take a look at this?
She was standing near the end of a small hallway that branched off to the right. The rest of them ran over to her, curious as to what she'd found.
Hey, on the wall.
A map of the ship's interior?
It says C deck.
So it's the map for this floor then?
Door 7. And... Door 8. Yep, they both eventually end up at this hallway.
Now I'm curious. Door 3 also would have wound up there. And they all go back to that room. Fact.
Yeah, isn't that what I said? We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. And that's how the nonary game works.
Junpei looked at the map of the ship's interior again.
Wait a sec. This leads to...
As he looked more closely, his surprise and excitement gave way to weariness.
Oh!
You've got to be kidding me.
One by one, the others saw what he'd seen.
We may as well go.
Yeah.
As one, they all moved back toward the door Junpei had only a moment ago been ready to open.
Almost forgot. We should keep this.
He pulled the map of the ship's interior off of the wall, put it in his pocket, and followed the others. The 6 of them stood in front of the door, arrayed in a semicircle. Santa stepped forward. He took hold of the door and spoke without looking back at the other 5.
Ready? I'm gonna open it.
They nodded their silent assent. With a deep breath, Santa threw open the door. Yeah, like, they were being so dramatic about, like, no, we're gonna have to sacrifice one of us to stay behind. It's like, guys, with what we've seen of the layout so far, we're gonna be doubling back. They poured through the doorway.
Yeah, we always have a chance to go back.
Well, not always, because we can't go back through a numbered door. But with what we saw with, like, the elevators, with the various planetary locks, Yeah,
That's true.
It's obvious we'll be going back this way. Even without looking around, each one of them knew where they were.
I knew it.
They were just where the map had said they would be.
We're back.
We're back
In the
here.
hospital room.
I love the
I
joyless.
Where's Ace?
I believe
Oh,
I understand
yeah.
what you're saying. The
Brand
6
claws
of
off.
you split into 2 teams and went through doors 7 and 8.
Wow, you weren't napping for very long.
You solved the puzzles in the operating room and the laboratory, and then met one another in the hallway after opening your respective locked doors.
It looked like anyone might, after only just waking up, but it seemed that his brain was working as well as ever. He had managed to grasp, summarize, and understand each team's report.
At any rate, I feel a bit silly for my little show of altruism. I know I said I was sure you'd come back for me. I didn't think it would happen so soon, though.
Ace shook his head with a rueful smile.
Well, we saw each other again and we ain't dead, so I say that's good enough.
Seven smiled.
Anyway, I say we get out of this creepy old place. We found the key we need.
The key?
Ain't that what I just said? I'm talking about the Jupiter key. We found it in the operating room. Here.
We found Sailor Jupiter.
Seven tossed something small and metallic towards Junpei.
Whoa. Nice catch.
Jeez.
He caught it and found that the object was a key.
I see. So this is Jupiter.
On it, someone engraved a symbol very similar to a 4. He looked over at Jun, who nodded back. It had to be the Jupiter symbol.
I'm gonna let you hold on to that, alright?
Yeah, on it.
Well, I've got something for you too then. Here, it's the Saturn key card. We found it in the kitchen.
We did? When?
The kitchen was in the first set of rooms, which Lotus,
Yeah, that
Santa,
I was just about
Clover,
to say.
and all them went in.
I might lose it. It's probably better if you hold on to it. That way it won't be my fault if it gets lost.
Yeah, on it.
And with that, she pressed it into Junpei's hand. Ah, Junpei's role is the pack mule.
We have to have at least one item. We
He
have
is
to have
the
someone who
monkey.
carries all the items.
And with that, she pressed it into Junpei's hand. He felt slightly less than honored.
So how many unused keys do we have now?
There's the Earth key we found in the laboratory. The Jupiter key you just gave me. And the Saturn key card from Lotus. I'll keep them safe.
Junpei tucked the new keys into his pocket. Jun spoke up.
The Jupiter key is supposed to be for the door at the end of that long, straight hallway, right?
Yeah. If the map's right, then it connects to the central staircase. Then, next to the stairs...
Wait!
They were the first words anyone had heard out of Clover in quite some time. Her face suggested they weren't going to be very happy words.
What about door 3?
Look, you saw the map, right? It's the same as 7 and 8. It just lead us back to the big hospital room.
Yeah, but we found keys in 7 and 8.
There's no point to seeing what's on the other side of that door.
There is a point. At least there is for me.
Oh, right, or Snake. That too. That could also be behind door number 3. There were tears
Yeah.
in her eyes, but she glared at Seven as hard as she could just the same. She looked very much like a frightened puppy. There wasn't a man alive who could have resisted those eyes. Seven looked at everywhere in the room except at Clover, and muttered and coughed apologies under his breath.
Yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. Snake might be on the other side of door 3.
Clover nodded once. Next person to speak was Ace.
Very well. I'll be coming with you then. I've had a nice long rest. I think it's time I was up and about again.
Okay, so that's 1 and 4. That's 5.
So 7, you'll help me, won't you?
Yeah, that would make 3.
Huh? Me?
Junpei did the calculations quickly in his head. Yep. It looked like 7 was doing them too. At last, he gave up.
Damn. Well, I guess that's how it's gotta be. So I'm going with you, huh?
Yes, you are.
Alright, let's get moving.
And so it was decided that Clover, Ace, and 7 would discover what lay beyond door 3.
Okay, we're heading out.
Be careful.
Whoa. Didn't think I'd be hearing that from you, Lotus.
Don't let it go to your head. I'd be in trouble if the three of you bought it. The rest of us can't open the 9 door.
Ah, the truth comes out.
7 nodded, as if this answer made much more sense, and pulled the lever on the red.
Okay, we're off.
The door opened, and Ace, Clover, and 7 jumped through it. 6, 7, 8. After exactly 9 seconds, the door closed noisily.
All right, we should get moving too.
Huh?
Get moving?
Where are we going?
Everyone except Lotus seemed rather confused.
Well, it would be a waste of time to just sit around, wouldn't it? Let me explain.
Oh, I get it. We're gonna see if we can get anywhere interesting with the Jupiter key.
Yes. If we're lucky, we might find Snake.
They were at the end
divide and conquer.
Yep. They were at the end of the hallway lined by individual hospital rooms.
And here's the Jupiter symbol on the keyhole.
All right, Junpei, open it if you please.
Yeah, on it.
Junpei pulled the Jupiter key out of his pocket and slid it into the keyhole. He twisted it. With a nice sharp click, he felt the door unlock. Junpei sucked in a breath, held it, and opened the door as quietly as he could. Inside was exactly what he expected to see from the map of the ship's interior. They were in a tremendous hall, almost like a ballroom, with a massive central staircase.
Great, back to the beginning. You sure this is a good idea?
We're back to the beginning with more keys.
What do you mean?
Yes.
Well, we already searched every inch of this room, didn't we?
Yes, and I recall we found an earth door.
I'm asking you if there's any reason we came back here.
Of course there's a reason.
Of course there's a reason. Man, sometimes I can't tell if you're smart or just lucky.
Huh?
This.
Junpei pulled 2 things out of his pockets.
The Saturn key card. And the Earth key? I'm lost.
Santa cocked his head to one side like an inquisitive bird and looked at them. After several long moments during which it became apparent that Santa had no idea what the cards meant, June took pity on him.
Don't you remember, Santa? On C deck, where we are now, there was a big elevator behind the stairs, remember? And next to the elevator, there was a card reader with the Saturn symbol on it. And on A deck, on the door to the left, there was a keyhole with the Earth symbol on it, I think. So the 2 keys that Jumpy has?
Should let us use the elevator and the door on A deck. Huh.
Yes, that's right.
June smiled, pleased with herself. So did Santa.
All right, I got it. Let's get started then. What do you say we split into 2 teams? Lotus and I will search the Earth one, so you 2 can search Saturn, all right?
Sounds good. Then you guys should take this key.
Junpei handed the Earth key to Santa. They decided that their initial search should be brief.
We have no idea what's on the other side of these. So don't go too far. Just search for 10 minutes and come back.
Plan decided, the 2 teams split it up. Junpei and June
Splitted?
headed for... Yeah, that's not correct.
Yeah, that isn't correct.
Junpei and June headed for the elevators.
There's a card reader next to the left elevator.
Then let's try out the Saturn key card.
A light on the upper left corner blinked to
Great!
life.
It looks like it's working now.
All right. Now, how do I call the elevator?
There was a single button to the right of the elevator door.
Oh, it only has the upside-down triangle on it.
I guess there's no up button. Well, we may as well try pushing this one.
The door slid shut, and they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator car moved down. Isn't that underwater?
It opened!
Okay.
Look, Jumpy!
June's voice was excited, but Junpei could hear a tinge of anxiety.
Sweet! It opened! Let's get going.
He grinned at June and stepped toward the open door. As he was about to set foot in it, he felt a hand on his arm.
Wait!
What?
I'm not really, I just, oh gosh.
Do you not like elevators?
I mean, I don't.
I still don't.
I used to be terrified of elevators as a kid. And to this
Big
day,
stain!
I still prefer to take stairs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to Dude, it was so bad that I had to be given a book about elevators.
I never had a book or anything. I just would be paralyzed with fear and would need someone to guide me by my hand.
Yeah, they gave me a book to explain how, like Hannah is scared of elevators or something like that, and it's just like, they're not. It was basically detailed like, yeah, you're scared of the elevators, but that's okay. They're not as bad as you think. I'm much better about it now, but I still feel kind of nervous when I feel the shift. It's shifting up or down.
Junpei was at something of a loss. What could she possibly be so frightened of? June was probably afraid of.
Yeah, no.
Wait.
Choose the first one. Definitely choose the first one.
This is important. Please pick that one.
Okay.
Oh no.
After a little thought, Junpei decided that she had to be nervous about being locked up in such a small space alone with a boy.
Well, we will be all alone in here.
In a way, it was kind of cute. Very demure, you could say, he thought. Still, even though it wasn't exactly roomy in the elevator, they weren't going to be pressed up against one another. At least they didn't have to be. Still, it was making her nervous. Junpei couldn't help but think how innocent she was.
Jumpy?
Huh? Oh, nothing. It's not important. Come on, let's go.
Oh my
Again, he
god.
stepped toward the elevator.
A brief reminder that both of them are 21.
And again, he felt himself restrained.
I said wait a minute.
Why?
Aren't you afraid, Jumpy?
Afraid of what?
Well, I've never, you know.
It's your first time?
Oh my god.
She'd never been in an elevator with a man alone before. Even so, she
Oh
still
my
seemed
god.
awfully alarmed.
I might get wet.
Oh my god.
What?
Down there. I get soaking wet.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh
I mean, of
no!
course you would. That's the way it
Oh,
works.
yes.
I mean, I've never heard of anyone getting soaking wet somewhere else.
That's true.
It's even worse because we all know what she actually means.
You
Exactly.
don't mind
Mine
Oh
what?
Jesus
getting
Christ!
wet?
Oh
Well,
no!
I don't know. I think I'd probably, like it.
Gosh,
Oh
Jumpy,
Jesus!
you're so brave.
Really? I mean, I kind of think any guy would do the same thing, you know? What happens, happens, right? I mean, if you get the chance, you've just got to go for it. That's what a man is supposed to do. I guess.
Oh Jesus!
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Well, here's the thing, Dragon Cat. It is going to D level. Unfortunately, Junpei also thinks it's going to D level.
I was just about to say.
I'd like
He's
to
also
take a
thinking
moment
about
to
D.
I'd like to take a moment to point out that Kotaro Uchikoshi is a master of writing hilarious, horny dialogue.
I think we have the title for the episode, though.
D level.
Going to the D level.
Yes.
You're so cool, Jumpy. I really admire you.
That doesn't really seem like the sort of thing you ought to admire someone for.
Oh my god.
I'm really scared.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you've never done it before.
Yes. So, I don't think I'll be able to last very long. And then
Oh
it'll be
God! Oh,
Over?
yes. I'll go to heaven. It feels kind of like you're floating in space.
oh
and your mind
Jesus
is all
Christ! I'm
fuzzy,
dying.
Like when you pass out. At least that's what I've heard from people who have experienced it.
Yes, I've heard that too. Although I don't
Blanc,
think the
you were
same
going
thing
to make
happens
me
to
die.
guys.
Not from sickness, but from laughing, from asphyxiation.
But it would happen to men too, wouldn't it? It would happen to anyone once it gets
Oh
to your
Jesus,
body.
you too.
The same thing happens to everyone.
Well, I mean, usually it doesn't go inside the man. I mean, generally.
Hey, Jumpy.
have
Hey,
an open
Jumpy,
mind,
don't
Jumpy.
judge.
Yes, it does. Well, eventually it will. It's not like you really have a choice. Your body will force you to swallow some of it.
Oh God. This is getting This is just getting worse and worse.
What are you trying to do to me?
Nothing. I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm just saying that that's what happens. It's a psychological reaction to what you're experiencing.
Oh, is that so?
And it's only natural? Is that what's natural for living beings? Perhaps he'd been mistaken all these years. Misunderstood. Had he misunderstood life so gravely? The thought terrified him. June seemed to be entirely oblivious to Junpei's mounting confusion and terror.
I know most men probably have larger lungs, but even then, I don't think you could hold your breath for 20 or even 10 minutes. Eventually, you'd have to breathe, and then the water would get into your lungs. Once that happens, your body won't be able to get oxygen anymore, and you'll start to feel that floaty feeling as you pass out. Huh?
Oh.
Finally, Junpei understood. He understood what June was trying to say and why she was so scared.
Yeah, you're right. You wouldn't last very long.
See?
She was afraid that the only elevator button pointed down. That meant, of course, that the elevator couldn't go any higher than the floor they were on.
I love that scene so much. It's so funny.
Oh god.
As he thought about it, Junpei realized he hadn't seen elevators on the A or B decks near the central staircase. All of which meant that the elevator could only convey them to the lower decks.
Come to think of it, the lower floor, D deck, is completely underwater. An elevator heading to a submerged floor. That is pretty scary. Hey, wait a minute. This elevator came up from somewhere under us, right?
Well, yes, I guess it did. It didn't open right away after you pressed the button. There was a motor noise, like it was moving, and then it opened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So, take a look inside.
Junpei jerked his head toward the interior of the elevator.
It's not wet at all, is it? The walls and even the floor are totally dry.
Oh, you're right. They are.
She looked around the elevator, slightly embarrassed.
Well, let's test it.
Test it?
Yeah, watch this. Now, I'll just put one foot inside the elevator and look over at the buttons. Oh, there's only two, E and C. All right, I'll push E.
E deck? We haven't seen E deck. He pushed the E button and jumped out of the elevator. The door slid shut, and they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator car moved down.
Okay, Discord, why are you going crazy with saying I'm transmitting?
I can hear it opening
I'm not
on
transmitting
E-Deck.
anything.
Okay, that's done. Now I'll just press the button again.
A few moments later, the elevator returned.
Yep, not a single drop of water to be seen. See?
Junpei couldn't resist puffing out his chest just a little bit. June, however, still looked confused.
What does that mean? How can E deck be safe if the D deck is full of water?
Well, here's what I think. The elevator shaft and E deck must be watertight and separated from wherever the ship's been punctured.
I like to think that while he's saying this, he's thinking that it's punctured somewhere totally no one knows where that might be. You know, nobody left the door open after their window broke. Nobody was maybe banging on the window a little bit before that. It totally didn't happen.
Here, let me show you.
Who knows how that happened?
He pulled out his notebook and pen and sketched out a rough illustration.
I see. So is that why the ship hasn't sunk? The shape of the inside keeps it all from filling with water?
Yeah, I think that's what's going on.
Junpei continued talking as he closed the notebook and slipped it back into his pocket.
So I'm gonna go down and check it out. You stay here, all right?
But...
Come on, just do it, all right?
He gave June's shoulder a reassuring squeeze and hopped onto the elevator. He pushed the E button and the door began to close. June looked worried, her eyes darting back and forth as if she was trying to make a decision when suddenly...
I'm coming with you!
Huh?
The last possible moment, June dashed forward, turning sideways just in time to slip through the gap between the closing doors.
Hey, wait!
Junpei jammed his finger against the open button, but it was too late.
Oh, crap. It closed.
The door had shut. He and June were in the elevator, and it was headed down to E-Deck. He was so surprised by June that he didn't even have time to think about what awaited him on the E-Deck.
I can't just let you go alone, you know.
Ah, jeez.
The elevator stopped, and the door slid open. They tentatively stepped out and looked around.
It looks normal.
No fish going about their fishy business, or jellyfish floating lazily through the water. There was, however, a blowfish, or at least something looked very much like one. June's cheeks were puffed out, and her mouth a tiny, intense frown.
Oh, knock it off. It's just like I thought. This part hasn't flooded. Come on, just look around. There's no water here.
June looked around nervously, then exhaled.
You're right. It's not flooded at all.
See?
But there's a whole lot of water.
Yeah. Right
Okay,
on
that
top
should
of
fix
us.
it.
What's gonna happen if the ceiling breaks?
Junpei thought about that for a moment.
Well, we'd probably get really wet.
Huh?
At any rate, we should probably go back as soon as we can, once we're done looking around down here. Lotus and Santa might already be back.
Okay, good idea.
Now then.
Junpei glanced around
Yeah, I
the
mean,
room
you-
they'd found themselves in.
I mean, you guys spent so long having a comically hilarious misunderstanding that you probably wasted a good 5 out of the 10 minutes you spent.
First thing he noticed was a set of thick iron bars. They ran the length of the room, separating the left elevator from the right one.
Iron bars. Well, we can't go over there.
Right.
Then maybe.
In the corner of the room that housed the elevators, Junpei found an opening.
Well,
He walked up to it and stuck his head around the corner.
it looks like there's a long straight hallway down this way.
Something's written on the door at the end. Wait, is that...
Let's check.
Junpei and June set off down the hallway at a brisk clip, somewhere between a run and a jog. Before long, they found themselves in front of the door. On it was a number written in bright red paint. 6.
I knew it!
This is a numbered door.
And indeed, there was a red bolted to the wall right next to the door.
But we can't do anything with only the two of us.
We better head back and let everyone know.
Yes.
Junpei and June turned and headed back to C-Deck.
Wait, what's this?
On their way back, Junpei noticed a map on the wall.
Is this the map for E-Deck? I should take it with me. Huh, so you guys found door 1.
Actually, I'm curious, are those maps... No.
Sadly, no.
I think they are in your inventories somewhere.
Oh, here they are!
E-Deck. C-Deck.
I mean, I wonder why these are in green, considering I
Yeah,
know...
those
They're
are
the
rooms
rooms
that
we can
we didn't.
actually explore.
Okay. Because I was... Let's see. E-Deck.
Noticeably, it's burned to shit.
Okay, now I'm curious, which one... Let's see... questions for later. They met back up with Santa and Lotus, who had explained what they'd found. Apparently, there was another numbered door on A-Deck, just like the one on E-Deck, beyond the door that the Earth Key opened. According to Santa and Lotus, there was a 1 on the door.
So now we've located 2 new doors. The 6 door and the 1 door.
You know, it is interesting that E-Deck wasn't flooded.
Lotus was quiet for a moment, lost in thought.
Well, we don't really know if all of E-Deck is safe. We only checked the area around the elevator.
Even so, it's still very interesting.
You said the 6th door was there, right?
Yes.
Then that means Zero planned all this out, even the sinking. That would have meant some pretty serious remodeling of the ship's interior.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah. I wonder how long it took. I can't even imagine how much it must have cost.
It would have been a ton, that's for sure.
Well, that does go along with what Ace was saying. The most reasonable explanation would be that this was done by some organization with access to a whole lot of cash.
Yes, it does make sense.
That thought made them all go quiet for a moment. June bit her lip while Lotus sighed softly to herself, and Santa cracked a stiff neck and stared off into the distance at nothing.
Yeah?
I don't think it's a very good idea to stay here.
June looked up at Junpei with large, pleading eyes.
Yeah, you're right. Ace and his team might be back already.
Well, Junpei and I should be able to open door 1.
Huh? You guys leaving me behind?
Just kidding. All right, let's go.
Lotus's words were all the impetus they needed. Back to the large hospital room they went. I mean, Santa, you know by now that it's not permanent. Like, we'll be back. The moment they stepped inside, a tremendous voice echoed across the room.
Hey! Where the hell did you guys go?
It was Seven.
Seven?
Ace was right behind him, and Clover was behind Ace, although she seemed to be hanging back.
What's wrong?
It looked as though there was something strange about them. Seven had the look of a man who'd seen a ghost. Ace was just as pale, and Clover looked as though she was only moments from passing out entirely. For a long moment, they simply stood there, looking at one another. Junpei looked around nervously, waiting for someone else to speak. No one did. He looked at Seven.
What happened?
What the hell kind of question is that?
Seven was trying very hard to be angry, but something had shaken him hard.
I'm sorry. I went away for a little bit. What happened?
We came back to the room after doing our investigations, and the folks who went into the 3 doors seemed a bit pissed at us. His shoulders were trembling, and his voice was strained.
Snake is...
Seven couldn't finish. He just looked away, his face twisted by... Junpei wasn't sure what. Instead, Ace spoke. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and spoke.
Snake is... dead. He died.
Oh, no!
Just as the 9th man did.
Okay. I am curious about something, and I am okay with spoilers at this point. If I had insisted on going through the 3 door, would I have seen this?
Yes.
Okay. It was as if all the air had suddenly been sucked out of the room. Junpei felt his heartbeat quicken, and he realized he was having trouble breathing. He could feel cold sweat beating on his forehead and neck. June, Santa, and Lotus looked the way he felt. All 3 were frozen in place, their faces white.
Oh my god. That's not true, is it?
We should make sure.
Yeah, right. We should.
They nodded to one another and headed for the number 3 door.
Wait! Not that way!
What? Why not?
They stopped short and turned to look at Seven. He was pointing at the door with no number.
I stuck a screwdriver in there to keep the door from closing all the way. It's not locked, so you can go in that way.
Where is he?
The shower room. The left side of the hallway. I put a broom in there too to keep the door open.
That means we can get in without going through the numbered door, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Then let's go.
Their new destination clear, Junpei and his companions headed for the door with no number. Once in the hallway, it was easy to spot the metal door on the left wall.
This wasn't open when we passed here before.
But now, just as Seven had said, there was a broom stuck between the door and the frame, keeping it open.
Well, let's keep going.
They looked at it for a moment, then stepped inside.
Oh, it smells horrible.
Lotus wrinkled her nose and covered her mouth in disgust. Even Santa pinched his nose shut.
Oh, yeah. This is pretty awful. I feel like I'm gonna puke.
It's just as bad as they said, perhaps even worse. A hideous smell filled the air, so thick they could almost taste it. It was sour and smelled of fish, feces, and burnt meat. It worked its way through Junpei's nose and down his throat, to pound against the entrance to his stomach. He put his hands over his mouth and struggled to keep what little was in his stomach where it belonged.
Where is he? Where's Snake?
He didn't have to wonder where the body was.
There.
There was blood everywhere, a few arms of the splatter reaching toward them as they walked in through the door. All one had to do was follow the many radial arms to their source. The body itself was hidden behind a divider.
June, you should stay here.
But...
Please, just do me a favor, okay? Alright?
He didn't give her a chance to say no. He put his hand on her shoulder as if to shove her into the ground like a tent pole, turned and walked toward the end of the divider.
I'm going in.
Felt like it took an eternity to get there. Santa and Lotus followed, timid and nervous as a pair of children. Eventually, they reached the divider. They looked at one another and nodded slowly. Junpei put his hands on the divider and peered around the corner. For a moment, he forgot to breathe. He felt his heart collapse in his chest like an empty cigarette carton, and time froze. He knew in that instant that he would take the image before him to the grave. What was left of the body sat in a sea of blood. Chunks of flesh, torn from the body, sat in the blood like tiny islands in a great red sea. A vast, ragged hole had been torn in the torso, and what remained of his intestines spilled out of it like fresh spaghetti. Smaller chunks of meat had splattered against the wall, and become stuck there as they dried. I think that was supposed to be became. Globules of yellowish fat had left trails like tiny slugs as gravity pulled them down the wall, even as they dried to it.
Just like Ace said.
Santa's voice was strained. Junpei suspected he was holding down some vomit of his own.
Just like the ninth man. The detonator in his bracelet set off the bomb in his gut.
It looked as though the explosion had been quite powerful.
Oh god. The bone is coming out of his left arm.
It's definitely an open fracture.
His legs were both bent in an odd, unnatural way, and his left arm had split open, exposing the painfully white bone of his ulna. Isn't his left arm fake? His bracelet lay next to him. It seemed to have hit the wall hard enough to have shattered the display, which lay on the ground in pieces.
Oh, the face. It's horrible.
Yeah, can't even tell who it is.
Half of his head had simply collapsed. The blood coating almost made it look like raw pizza dough covered in tomato sauce. His clothes, too, were covered in blood. The burgundy tie, the white shirt, the jacket with the yellow piping, and the gray slacks.
But the clothes are...
They were all familiar to Junpei.
No mistake about it. It's Snake.
Lotus's voice was unnaturally deep and strained, and Junpei heard it catch in her throat. I am going to go off on a limb and say that it's possible that's not Snake. It might be a misleading situation.
It might.
The joke is I'm basing that entirely off of how we were told his left arm was fake. But we could see like bone poking through and such that it looked like a real arm. So probably not his body. A squeal of punctured metal made Junpei's teeth curl. It sounded like the noise a ghost would make. No matter how many times he heard it, he never got used to it. Every time it put him on edge. It didn't help that there was a girl nearby who looked far more like a ghost than a living human should. It was Clover. She sat on the edge of the bed, her head drooping listlessly onto her chest. Her eyes were blank and stared across the room at nothing. Her breathing was slow and mechanical. Aside from the rise and fall of her chest, she didn't move. Junpei felt as if even a nudge might cause her to shatter into 1,000 pieces.
Snake was probably murdered. Chances are he was killed the same way the ninth man was.
Seven lowered his voice, likely in an effort to keep Clover from hearing what he had to say. There were 4 other people in the room with Junpei and Seven. Ace, Santa, June, and Lotus. Seven looked at each of them in turn and continued.
It's pretty straightforward. Not that hard to figure out how they did it. First, the killers got Snake to authenticate on the red to open door 3. Then they shoved him into it. Alone. And waited 9 seconds for the door to shut. Once that door shut, it was all over for Snake. But he didn't give up. He probably knew it wouldn't do him any good, but he probably ran into the shower room looking for the dead. It was a small chance, but it wasn't like he had anything to lose. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The detonator is only deactivated if everybody who authenticated when they went in uses the dead. Snake was the only one who went through the door, and then 81 seconds after he was shoved in, that happened.
I see. So that's what you meant by killers, huh? You need at least 3 people to open one of the numbered doors, including Snake. It wouldn't open for Snake and a single killer.
So let's see. Santa and Lotus could do it.
Okay.
Well, yes, because that would be 3 and 8 makes 11 plus 2. Oh no, that makes 13. I'm trying to make 12.
Who's door 3?
So Santa and 7 could do it. Let's see. Ace couldn't do it because he would have needed a 9th man. It is highly unlikely that Clover and June did it. So, if this theory were to be correct, I think the only people who could do it would be 7 and Santa.
Yeah.
However, I also think that's unlikely, just given their personalities and how they reacted.
That means we're looking at multiple perps here.
Junpei crossed his arms and grunted.
Well, just in case, I want to make sure. Let's say you're right. When do you think Snake was killed?
When we all split up to look for the parts for the Reds, I think. Right after that was when we noticed he was gone.
Then that means none of us have alibis. We were all off searching the rooms we'd been assigned, looking for those parts.
Yeah. That means anybody could be a killer.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
Not anybody. Ace, at the very least, not only probably didn't do it, he couldn't do it. There is no way.
How can you say that so casually? You're implying that one of us is a killer.
Well, not just one of us. If I'm right, then at least 2 of us are murderers.
Why
At
don't you
least
calm down a bit,
2.
Seven?
True. It could be 3 of them. Or 4.
What are you going to gain by being so suspicious? That's what Zero wants, you know?
What Zero wants?
Exactly. This game was set up by Zero, wasn't it? Any game has a winner and loser. Whoever makes it through door 9 is a winner, and those who don't are the losers. Zero is trying to make us fight against one another for that victory.
Then you're saying that Zero is trying to split us up by making us fight each other?
Yes, that is why we can't let ourselves fall prey to suspicion. We have to trust one another and form a strong bond of friendship. Otherwise, we'll end up ensnared by Zero's manipulations.
Then does that mean that the person who killed Snake...
Yes, almost certainly Zero himself. If there's anyone we should doubt, it should be Zero. He masterminded this game and kidnapped all of us. Doesn't it seem reasonable that he would have killed Snake as well?
Good question.
Junpei hadn't really considered that.
If Zero killed Snake, then Zero is on the ship with us.
Junpei. Was Zero still on the ship with them? Of course. Of course he was. That was obvious.
But I don't...
Zero was somewhere on the ship, but Junpei had no idea where. Junpei mumbled to himself, lost in thought.
Where could Zero be hiding?
Suddenly, everyone went very quiet. The silence was cold and clammy, and Junpei could feel it crawling across his back and around his throat. Again, he heard the ghosting moaning noise. And moments later, a person who looked more ghost than human appeared. It was Clover. She looked at the floor as she spoke, and her voice was a cold monotone.
I think.
Oh my god. Blanc, I just saw the message you posted, and now I want pizza. I probably shouldn't have pizza, but I want it.
I think Zero is.
But what I want more is spaghetti.
One of us.
Are you saying that Zero is among us?
Bonk.
Every human body in the room froze. The only sound was the muffled rustling of breath. Eyes darted from face to face. One of those faces was the face of their jailer. But who? Was he one of them? That's crazy.
That's crazy. Isn't this ship going to sink in a few hours? If Zero was here with us, he'd be putting himself in danger. Why the hell would he do something like that? There's no motive.
Clover looked up at Junpei, and her face fell.
You don't believe me.
No, we ain't playing this game again.
Again?
Yeah. Of, the Mastermind and Danganronpa.
Ah.
Well, I suppose we are doing a repeat in that we're not looking for the Mastermind among us. We are looking for the 16th survivor hidden somewhere on this boat.
Watch out for her.
The one they call Zero.
You know, never mind the fact that that they're so secret they usurped the other 5 that aren't here either.
Yeah. Her eyes were so pitiful. The moment Junpei's met them, he felt his heart tighten. He didn't think what he said was wrong, but perhaps the way he'd said it had been. He'd been too insensitive. That's true. I'm kind of a dick. To be fair, I've been playing Junpei as a bit of a dick since session 1.
It's like, hey, Clover, maybe you should shut up a little bit. It's like, bro, her brother just died.
Though I will say, the reason why I decided not to push going through door 3 last time was because after what happened with me, like, being like, no, I'm gonna go through door 5 because I'm the special birthday boy. I was like, okay, am I really pulling this shit again? And I'm like, no, let's not do that.
You could.
I could, but I didn't want that to be the ongoing arc for Junpei here.
The I want it my way arc.
Yeah,
Burger King.
I am the Burger King!
I will have it my way!
I need those goddamn chicken fries!
Clover had just lost her brother. His death would have been bad enough, but she'd also seen the blasted wreck of his body. Junpei barely knew him, and the sight had been enough to make him sick. What Clover had felt, he couldn't begin to imagine. In the mental state she must have been in, it was understandable that she would look at those around her with suspicion. She felt everyone was against her. The least Junpei could have done was try to understand what she was feeling. He felt ashamed of what he'd said. Perhaps, he thought, I should apologize. But before that apology could begin...
Clover, I understand what you're feeling. You don't feel that you can trust any of us.
Ace had beaten Junpei to the punch. As he spoke to Clover, his face was calm and friendly.
But you have to understand. The more we distrust one another, the further we fall into our true foe's trap. Zero was the one who did those horrible things to your brother. Do you want to let yourself be manipulated by someone who would do such a horrible thing?
Okay, but like, the way he's saying it is coming off as manipulative. Like, he's expressing the sentiment that I would, but the way he's saying it, I'm like, bruh. Clover didn't answer. She didn't even look at Ace. The whole time, her eyes were on Junpei. He could feel Clover's eyes boring into him. They were the color of a deep winter lake. Junpei saw no suspicion in them, only sadness. Then, in that horrible silence, they heard a bell begin to ring. It was the clock at the central staircase. So we are 6 hours in. We have 3 left.
Mm-hmm.
It's 3 in the morning.
That means we have 3 hours left.
Then we need to move now.
And like, we have wasted so much time and I feel like we've barely done shit.
7. Clover, I know how you feel, but you do understand that right now it's important we trust one another, don't you?
Seven and Clover remained silent. Their eyes were looking at something somewhere else, very far away.
We must go. We have very little time left.
Ace's words put their feet to moving. They all knew where they were going.
Our next destination is Mercury.
Or maybe you and June should check it out first and then report back to us.
All right, let's go, June.
Right.
Ah. We
Here
have
it is.
decided on our role as guinea pigs. Sat bolted to the wall near the stairs that led to the casino and the kitchen between the two elevators.
The Mercury card reader.
Ah, the lotus symbol.
Yes.
We're using the card 7 gave us, right?
Yeah,
I found it when we were checking out the shower room.
I think 7 said something like that. Anyway, let's see what happens.
Junpei slid the card through the reader. The light on the reader turned green and made a tiny electronic noise.
I guess the elevator works now.
Jumpy, I know it's only the two of us, but let's do our best.
What's with you all of a sudden?
Well, I'm happy we were put together.
You know it's just for searching E-Deck, right?
You know, random thought, but there's something about her that feels very Maya Fey. I don't know if
Kinda.
colors.
Yeah.
It's the
It's
colors.
the purple outfit.
Probably.
And
Her
she has
outfit
the
is
same face
blue.
too.
It's a light
It's-
purple.
It's purple.
It's a purpley blue.
Even so, I'm glad I'm with
It's
you.
violet.
Oh god, am I colorblind?
No.
First, we need to find out if the elevator comes up full of water.
Just like we did before.
But yeah, like she has the same general body shape as Maya Fey. And she has the same long hair.
Yeah, and I think some of her expressions look similar as well.
Oh, here it is.
I knew it.
And
It's
like
not
the
wet
way
at
she's
all.
described, because like even earlier they described her puffy face, and it's the same thing that Maya does.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
Yes.
Once it had been checked for water, Junpei and June stepped into the elevator.
Look! Nearly all of the buttons are destroyed.
Yeah, only the seat and bottom button can be pushed.
Bottom.
Okay, Junpei, push the bottom button.
We're on C deck right now, so
Ah.
the only one we can choose is bottom.
Yeah. Well, let's try it out.
Junpei hit the bottom button. The door closed. Slowly, they began to move downward.
Oh, so this is the bottom deck.
I'm sorry. They stepped off and saw that the hallway to their right ended somewhere between 20 and 25 feet from them. The hallway in front of them was a dead end. Not a regular dead
Hey,
end.
over there.
This is a numbered door.
It was a dead end with a door in it. So you could say it was not a dead end at all.
This is the 8th one we found. There were 2 numbered doors on B deck near the central staircase. They were doors 4 and 5. 3 more in the large hospital room. Doors 3, 7, and 8.
And the door we found on E deck, and the door Lotus and Santa found on A deck. It was a 6 on the door on E deck, and a 1 on the door on A deck.
And now door 2 stood in front of Junpei.
That means...
Do you think the next door we find?
Yeah, I think so. The next one's gonna be door 9.
Despite himself, Junpei felt excited. There was something about that excitement that frightened him as well.
Finally!
Yeah,
You don't look very happy about it, though.
it's not that. I just hope nothing goes wrong.
You're right. We should keep our fingers crossed.
Let's head back.
Okay.
He did his best to put it from his mind and headed back to C deck with June.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 7 pieces.
The pieces of paper they'd folded up lay on the ground next to Junpei's legs. Everyone had written on paper pulled from Junpei's notebook in an effort to pull together a blind
Just
vote.
double checking, but everyone wrote their code name and a door number they want, right?
Yes, just like you told us earlier.
Can't believe we're voting here.
Why had they decided to vote that way?
We need to make the whole thing fair, blah-de-blah. This is a complicated plan, you know. Hurry it up, Mr. I have a brilliant idea.
They had decided it wasn't fair to simply ask everyone at once. That would allow people to force others to go through certain doors.
Yeah, quiet in the peanut gallery.
And he had a plan. It wasn't a plan he wanted anyone catching wind of, however, so he did his best to act calm as he began to open and read the pieces of paper.
All right, let's open these up. first one says Ace requests door 1.
Yes, I do. Would you like me to explain why?
No, we don't have time for that. Sorry. Let's keep going.
Shut up, old man.
Grandpa. Drink your prune juice.
Next is Santa. He wants door 6.
Yeah, that's what I wrote.
Junpei continued with the 3rd, 4th, and 5th pieces of paper.
Clover wants 1, Lotus wants 2, and 7 also wants 2.
Wait a minute. There is no way I'm going anywhere with the Elephant Man.
No, there'd be no point to the voting if we let people change their choices because of stuff like that.
But... no.
Just give it up, Lotus. It's not like I want to hang out with some exhibitionist grandma.
I am not an exhibitionist. I'm wearing clothes.
Are you?
Barely.
So, last I checked, that's not a crime.
Maybe. But what about common decency? Nobody wants to have to look at a chick who looks like a half-naked raisin.
Oh, I'm gonna kill you!
Lotus's hair flared out like the mane of an angry lion,
not good.
and she roared with a voice that shook the walls.
Let go! Let go of me! I'm killing...
With some difficulty, Ace managed to restrain her.
Junpei, read the rest.
Right.
Junpei turned his eyes away and looked down at the 6th piece of paper. He opened it.
June wants door 6.
Yes, I don't really have a reason. I just felt like it.
All the papers, save Junpei's, had been read. He did some quick calculations in his head.
So this was everyone's vote. Ace and Clover requested door 1.
That was the door on A deck near the central staircase.
7 and Lotus requested door 2.
This was the door on the bottom deck, and could be reached by taking the elevator to the bottom of the ship.
Santa and June requested door 6.
So let's see. So we've got 5 total for door 1. 7 and Lotus. That is 15 total for door 2. 9 total for door 6. That was the door on E deck. It could be reached by taking the elevator near the central staircase
Then
down.
the door I should choose is...
Alright, so question.
Uh-huh.
What door do you want to go to by default?
I don't
is
have
my
a
first question here.
I don't have a strong preference. There's a part of me leaning towards door 6, just because we haven't hung out with Santa yet.
Okay, so I'm actually going to do my only intervention and insist for door 1.
Okay. Ace and Clover. Took him less than a second to run the numbers. He opened the 7th piece of paper and spoke.
Okay, the last one is mine. I want to go through... My choice is door 1.
Santa was unconvinced.
Hey, wait a minute there. You cheating?
Cheating?
I'm asking if you changed your number after you heard what doors we wanted.
How could I do that? I wrote it down on the paper earlier.
Let me see that.
Sure, here.
Junpei shrugged and handed it to him. Santa examined it furiously. The others peered at it as well. As they did, Junpei quickly slipped the piece of paper he'd been hiding into his pocket. Although he'd never know it now, Santa had been justified in his suspicion. Junpei had switched papers.
I had 3 pieces of paper ready.
For doors 1, 2, and 6.
And I put the one with door 6 on it into the pot.
He put a small mark on it so he would know which one was his.
I just needed to make sure I drew last.
So the one he put into the pot, the one that he didn't cheat on, was the one that was like, yeah, that's what I'm feeling like.
After I saw everyone else's result, I just chose whatever door I wanted. If the number I'd already put in matched, then I didn't have to switch the paper out. Well, what does it say?
He fought the urge to smirk.
You got lucky.
Santa snorted and tossed the paper aside, frustrated.
Very well. We've decided who will go through door 1. It will be Clover, Junpei, and myself. Our only problem is the 2 remaining teams.
June and I want door 6.
Lotus and I want door 2.
That's not good. We can't open either of those doors with only 2 people. Aw.
Fine. 7, we'll go through door 6.
Sure thing. I didn't really want to go through door 2 anyway. Besides, if we've got a younger girl with us, it'll lower the average age. Right, June?
Well, I
June was at a loss for words. Lotus was not.
Pig. You just wait and see.
Her eyes were the eyes of a woman prepared to kill. A shiver ran down Junpei's spine.
Calling me old. This is why men are such a pain in the ass. They're about as subtle as a brick.
I'm not old, I'm 37.
And they're at it again.
Also, 7 is older than she is.
Yeah. Even after they separated at the staircase, Lotus was still muttering angrily to herself.
I'll see you later, June.
Jumpy.
Circumstances dictated that Junpei and June would have to part ways again, but this time it didn't sting quite so much.
Don't make that face. It'll be like what 7 said.
We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. That's how the nonary game works.
Seven's words took a weight off of Junpei's shoulders, and he felt much better.
It'll be fine. I'll see you soon.
All right. See you later.
Lingering uneasy... What? That's a weird way to phrase that. I would have said lingering unease remained, but they went their separate directions without much trouble.
I think that was what it was originally, but when they ported it, they messed it up.
Yeah, it just sounds like a typo.
Junpei, Ace, and Clover headed toward A deck.
Here's A deck. It was the door on the left, right?
That should be it, yes.
Then here we go.
It opened, and they walked through. I suppose this does mean I'm hanging out with
It's just
a
as
character I
Santa
haven't
and Lotus
hanged out
said.
with before.
Yeah. My reasoning was because yes, it's true we would have been able to spend time with Santa, but you would have gone into, and very, very minor spoilers, these are going to be 2 rooms. So you would have gone through a room with 2 characters you're voicing, Mai, and only 1 for Taze. Hannah only got 1 room for the character she got to voice, while Loey already got 2 with both of the characters he voiced. I wanted to make sure everybody got even voice properties.
That's fair.
Alright.
It's just as Santa and Lotus said. At the end of the hallway sat a door with a large red 1 on it.
A numbered door.
To the left of it, bolted to the wall, was the red.
There's the red. I'll go first.
Ace went first and waved his wrist over the scanner panel.
Now the 2 of you, if you will.
Junpei was next. Finally, listlessly, Clover lifted her arm. She leaned toward the scanner panel. The third asterisk flicked to life, shining brightly. Ace took hold of the lever.
Now.
Took a deep breath and turned to Junpei and Clover.
Are you ready? Shall I pull it?
Yeah, anytime.
Clover said nothing. She nodded, a little more than a lethargic twitch of the head.
Very well then. Let's go. 3, 2, 1.
God, I hope she's not too listless to go through the door after we go through.
And it's open! Move it!
They stumbled into the room.
Where is it?
Frantically, Junpei scanned the room. His eyes stopped on the device that would determine whether they lived or died.
There it is! Over there!
Next to the door they'd come through was the dead. As one, they ran to it. They put their hands over it as if they were fighting for it.
It stopped.
Yes, it did.
Junpei could feel his heart pounding against the inside of his ribs. Ace and Clover were breathing hard and fast.
I don't believe I'll ever get used to that.
I'm not sure it's something I'd want to get used to. We should finish this game before imminent death becomes a normal thing.
Why do I find that funny?
I agree.
Now then.
Junpei looked around again, this time more slowly.
There's another door. Let's try opening it.
He took hold of the knob and easily, gently pulled it open.
So, This is the wheelhouse?
He closed the door again and turned to Ace and Clover. He fixed each in turn with a meaningful stare, then spoke.
Ace, you investigate the wheelhouse next door.
Very well.
Clover, you're in charge of this room. Say something.
Okay.
All right then, let's get started.
Alright, this is a good spot to save.
I figured as such.
Yeah. Now, before we go, I have a very important announcement to make.
Oh?
Oh?
So, it's the last stream of the year, yeah?
What?
Next
Possibly?
week is Christmas Eve, and we aren't going to be doing that. And then there's New Year,
No, next
New
week
Year's
isn't.
Eve.
Yeah, next week is Christmas Eve,
Yeah.
and the
So
week
what-
after
And
that
the one
will
after
be.
that is New Year's Eve, so probably. So, I decided that maybe might be time for when we come back to have a little change around here. So, if
Oh.
you wouldn't mind, all three of you, could you do me a favor, real quick?
3.
Yes, you, Taze, and Hannah.
What
Yeah?
about Lowy?
Yes.
Don't worry about me.
Okay.
I want you to look in the voice text thingy real quick.
Okay.
If it will load.
Yeah, it's taking its sweet time loading for me. Oh.
That's so cool.
Surprise! I got you a new before stream screen.
Excellent. Yes, I will
I
look
love
forward to
it.
using that.
I also, per request from the artist, who is my wonderful friend Uri, also got you this separately because where is it?
Okay. I will say I will probably still be using my old one for solo streams, which I
Yes,
do
of
want to
course.
find a good
That's
time
fine.
to start doing those, because that is something I want to get into. It's just rough finding a time when people can make it, when like it doesn't conflict with other things. So working
Give me
on that.
just a moment. There's one other thing I have, because as I'm sure I recall you saying, you also wanted an error screen, so I got this separate too.
Nice.
I love it.
I look forward
That's
to setting that up.
fantastic. Shoutouts to Uri for making a kick-ass thing.
Well, hopefully it'll be a while before anyone watching sees that. Oh.
All right.
But for now, we shall go ahead and see you all next time, which will probably be in the new year, unless I find some time during the week to do a solo stream. I'll be trying to see if I can find time to do so on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
But if not, see you in the new year. Until then, I shall see you later.
Take
Take care, everybody.
Take care, everyone.
See y'all.